Good afternoon, everybody.
Hi there.
Let's go over to our intro slide here. And so we're Dave and Laura Butler. We are excited to be with you today to talk about one of your favorite topics, right?
My absolute favorite of all time, IDP.
IDP. So it's the plan for your 2022 development plan.
IDP, Individual Development Plan.
Why is it your favorite topic?
Because 30 years ago, when I started doing this work, I was surprised by the fact that nobody really had much of a plan, number one. They weren't getting prepared for all the changes that are coming down. And ultimately, the most that they had was maybe some response to a half baked performance review that they had, if you even had a performance review. But the performance review pointed out the things that you needed to improve on. And so everybody had a plan that was basically about go get better at what you're not good at. So it didn't do very much. Nobody really liked it. Nobody paid attention to it. And it seemed to me to be the most important thing would be to get ready for the future. I mean, how could you not be getting ready for the future in a world that's changing so quickly? And that was 30 years ago. And now it's even worse. But I ask people over and over again, what do you have for an individual development plan? And they might show me some hackneyed old version of a performance review, but there's nothing that was very robust or anything that really would smack of getting ready for the future.
Exactly. So we are Dave and Laura Butler of Work Life Consulting, and we are producing live stream videos to help you with your fulfillment, help you with maybe leading teams, leadership individually, and greater fulfillment in your overall work and life. And so today's topic is coming up with a development plan. And what we're also doing is sharing our philosophy and a little history of what has happened. I mean, I think we all know what has happened, but 2021 had been the year of the great resignation or the big quit. And as of August of last year, 65% of employees were looking for a new job. So, how do we address this uncertainty? The most important way is to support team and individual development.
Period.
That is not us necessarily, although Work Life's philosophy has been this for years. This is research that's coming out from an organization called Get Smarter Inc. And they put together research on the topic of the future of work. And the future of work is they predict, and they've heard from employees, that development is what's important. So if there's development in the organization, the employee feels like they care about me.
Well, not only do they care about me, but I'm going somewhere.
Yeah.
They're going to help me to continue to keep from being obsolete. I mean, let's face it, skills become obsolete within months.
Absolutely. So what we have is our philosophy, sort of to piggyback on what you started as the introduction, is if it's to be, it's up to me. This is not a time where you sit back and you wait for somebody to tap you on the shoulder and say, hey, Dave, you're a stellar employee. We'd like to develop you. I don't think so. I don't think that's going to happen. And
I think it helps if you raise your hand and go, hi, excuse me, can I have a little development, please?
yeah, and it looks different for everybody. If it's to be, it's up to me. It's my own way of going about it. But I'm also doing a presentation tomorrow for women on a topic called that's 12 habits of a book that's Women Rising. And there are 12 habits that have been embraced over the years. And the first two are about a the philosophy is around, if I do good work, somebody's going to notice.
Yeah.
And, that is not the way to go. But to your point, it's not a fix it mentality. The approach is not, here you've done X, Y, and Z. We're going to pull the rug out from under you and expect you to change. So I also wanted to say, if you're listening to this in the recording, thank you for joining. And we're talking about the opportunities available to you by creating a development plan, individual development plan. So keep going, Dave, on.
Well, one of the other things that I've tried to preach over the years is really when somebody takes a new job or gets hired, we should have a development plan day one. Why are we waiting for a year from now to have a performance review that's about stuff that probably we're not doing anymore? And I'm going to go work on trying to get better at stuff that I don't care about. If you hire me, there's something that's right about it. Well, how about we start working on my development day one? How would that be for, a motivator for wanting to work there? Because if I know that I'm working for a company that's investing in my development all the way along, why would I go anywhere else?
Right. Well, and also when you do create your own plan, the pieces to it from our creation, number one, create goals that address what you need in your current role. What's happening also from the Future of Works research is that certifications online are booming. And it's a way that we look at development and learning.
Sure.
And
being able to be more prepared for where I am now, but at the same point realizing that that's changing so quickly, I need to start working on my future vision and align it with the future vision of the company.
Exactly. So the goals for where do I see myself? So I set myself up now and create what I need to make my future vision happen. And on top of that, the blanket that goes over both, what are you doing about your health and well-being?
Yeah, and I mean this is typically the eye raiser for most people, because they think, well, I'm going to meet with my employees and tell them to stop smoking or lose weight or whatever it is. Well, when you think about it, you're investing an awful lot of money to have them there and be healthy. I mean, look at what's happened in the last couple of years with, COVID and all the rest of it. But you don't have to be judgmental about anybody, but you could offer them a free membership in a health club. I mean, you could pay for that. You could have an on-site health club. And what about your overall well-being? And what's happening for you? Do you have children that you need to be a part of their daily routine? So all of this is starting to come to the surface. I talked about it 30 years ago. But in the last couple of years, all of this is coming to the surface now because people are working more from home. There's flexibility. Finally, we've got a lot of opportunities. Well, along with that goes a whole bunch of new problems too.
Right. But also people aren't necessarily going to the gym, depending on how they feel. So we help people set things up at home.
Yeah. How about help me afford a Peloton bike?
That's right. So what the goals you have need to address is you select what competencies are aligned for you, or where your gaps may be. What are some of the skill gaps? And that would be part of the growth plan.
Right. Skills one thing. Secondly is, where am I going that's meaningful to me? So some goals that have to do with my passion, my interest, the things that I really want. So this three-part harmony, I used to call it. There's a passion element, there's a skills element, and there's a health and well-being element. Sort of a three-part harmony, a 3D look at development planning.
Mm-hmm. So what it requires, though, is that those who are creating their plan commit to daily, weekly, and monthly actions. So those get built into we have one side, the goals, then we have what are the competencies, what are the actions and the deadlines. And my favorite one is, what resources do you need? Right. Because resources, as we said before, could be a certification that you need. It could be another course. It could be, the typical, what we think of for education. But I think of networks when I think of resources, because it has been so meaningful for me to invest in volunteer work.
Well, so having the opportunity to do volunteer work has got a huge benefit to it.
Yeah, so it's enhanced my career, enhanced my growth. And those are people who are in my network. And networks are either your personal or your day-to-day, your family, your friends. They're also the operational network who you work with, and you can reach out to them. But the most untapped, especially with women, is the strategic network. So the strategic network could be building those relationships with senior leaders because you're on the same board with them.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's amazing what that does for your growth. The other piece is aligning with a tool that gives you insights into who you are, what you want, what your stresses are. So what we use is the Birkman as the remedy for this. And to your point about just, vision number one or goal number one, identify and align with your passion.
Right.
Without that,
well, without that, I'm just sort of rudderless anyway. I'm just building skills to do what? More of something I don't care about? Well, that's not really going to help me very much. And it's not going to engage me. Engagement is a big part of engagement is I'm doing something that I'm passionate about, that I care about. It has meaning for me.
So if you're just joining us, thank you for joining Work Life Consulting, Dave and Laura Butler. We're talking about development plan for 2022. And if you're listening to the recording, leave a comment about what your development item would be for 2022. I have a sample of what the Birkman shows. Don't get scared with this. We're going to go a little bit deeper and you'll be able to see more. But it's a 3-dimensional tool. It covers your passion, what your strengths are, what your needs are from your environment, and what may cause stress if those needs aren't met.
Right.
So to give you a little more deeper insights into what that looks like, there's a red, green, blue, and yellow component. So overall, greens, like Dave, their passion is to motivate, to sell, to promote. My passion, blue, is I look for how things look. There's always going to be some music involved in anything that I do, and there's creativity and future focus. Yellows are going to be passionate about maybe numbers, developing the procedure, scheduling things, and red, get her done, building, moving, hands-on. So that's passion. The strengths that is uncovered through the Birkman tool. If you're green, you have that sociable strength that's visible. So this is a very visible side of the results. The blue can be reflective. Blues are seen as thinking. Is anybody there? Is something happening? Well, yeah, there's a lot going on because it's in our thought process. The yellows are collaborative but focused, and reds active. We can see it, decisive. And then the need, the sort of the support that elevates that strength, and is most hidden, so we don't know this about ourselves, is greens need to have flexibility, recognition. Blues, time, that feeling for that time that sets aside the time to reflect. Yellows are all about getting the details, getting consistency, and reds, an outlet for their energy, something to keep them moving and going. And if all that isn't met, the stress behavior could be that greens maybe get distracted. They might start to wonder, anybody like me here? Blues could get discouraged. They find it hard to take action because they're so involved with thought. The yellows could sort of dismiss the next step because they're insistent on creating the rules and the boundaries. And the reds are going to become busy for busy's sake. So we thought that would be helpful to get a visual of where all this comes together.
Well, it serves as a resource to be able to inform us about making choices that are about my passion, making choices about my strengths and what I can do to improve them, and making decisions about health and well-being based on my needs and stress.
Exactly. So the way that we can support you going forward is you visit our website, and that way what you can do, www.worklifeonline.com, and on our website we have a quiz set up. A quiz covers the quiz that we currently are running is around how emotionally smart you are. So to me, it's a great correlation between that and your development plan. because the emotionally smart component of our development is going to be crucial as we continue with this 22 plan.
It already is crucial in the world we're living in, because there's so much going on around us and so many people are, having difficult times.
Right. And the other piece, if you join our list and sign up on our website, is we will send you information about a variety of programs that we're offering that connects coaching with the Birkman tool and will help you align with your 22 development goals and plan and figure out that passion and everything else that is so insightful with creating a development plan.
Yeah, I just remembered we should be having a conversation with each other about our development plan.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So that's what we will be doing. That's our work. So thank you for joining us. We have a comment here. So we have something from Jeff, who says his development plan is to speak up. What do you need to be engaged to meet your goals, leave early to help mom, dad, pick up kids, and so forth. So that's all part of what happens in our work and our lives. And please leave us a comment. Let us know what else you'd like to hear.
Keep working on your development plans.
And keep busy working on those development plans. I think what we're going to do here is we're going to leave with our good friend Elliot Lewis.
Great.